So we're getting closer and closer really to the start of the 2022 midterms. And one of the signals that will be important in 2022 about 2024, if we're continuing to wonder as we are about the future of Trumpism as something that has the Republican Party in a vice grips, for lack of a better term, is how people that are aligned with Trump do in 2022 versus people who are not aligned with Trump do in 2022. And we have, to that end, a very, very interesting new report from Bloomberg, which looked at fundraising for various Republicans that have not been in the pro-Trump wing. Let's take a look at this and see if we can learn anything from it. Trump's picks lag Cheney and Republican incumbents in fundraising. Cheney, of course, being Liz Cheney, sorry. Cheney, Upton, and Herrera Butler voted to impeach Donald Trump. Trump PAC hasn't donated to their opponents. 3 House Republicans targeted by former President Donald Trump raised more money in the third quarter than his hand-picked candidates to defeat them, according to the FEC filings. Representatives Liz Cheney of Wyoming, Fred Upton of Michigan, and Jamie Herrera Butler of Washington were among 10 House Republicans who infuriated Trump by voting against him during his second impeachment proceeding. So far, Republican donors haven't followed him in backing their challenger. So already 2 important bits of news here. Number 1, voting to impeach Trump in that second impeachment trial, despite what Trump and other Trumpists said, doesn't seem to have been a death blow to those individuals, at least so far. They're raising more money. And number 2, an endorsement from Trump, in these particular cases at least, isn't actually helping the opponents to these individuals raise more money. Now, we've still got a while, right? These are primary races. We've still got a while. We'll see what happens. But so far, both of the claims, you're going down if you voted to impeach me, doesn't seem like it. And number 2, my endorsement is going to rocket people to the winner's circle. Not actually happening so far. Let's continue. Trump has yet to endorse candidates running against the other 6 Republican incumbents who voted to impeach him on a charge of inciting the January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol, but has vowed to fight them as worried Republican officials. Republicans need to flip only a handful of seats to gain control of the House in 22, and weakening incumbents seeking re-election by funding primary challenges would complicate that task. Another Republican who voted for impeachment, Representative Anthony Gonzalez, said in September that he wouldn't seek re-election. His Trump-endorsed challenger, Max Miller, took in $695,000, including $500,000 of personal funds he loaned for his campaign in Ohio's 16th district. Miller also got $5,000 from Save America, Trump's leadership PAC. Now, listen to this. This is very interesting. Though Trump's committees had $102 million in the bank at the end of June, so far he's done little to spread the wealth around. Save America, his leadership PAC, has channeled $5,000 to some incumbent Republican senators he's endorsed, including John Boozman, Rand Paul, and Tim Scott. But some of the House candidates he's backing have yet to see any donations through the end of September. That includes Harriet Hageman, a Wyoming attorney who won Trump's endorsement to take on Cheney. Hageman raised $301,000, and Cheney has topped $1.5 million each quarter. So it's very, very lopsided there. Herrera Butler raised $523,000. She topped the $450,000 raised by U.S. Army vet Joe Kent. That's closer for sure. And Upton, the voting to impeach Trump incumbent, raised $292K, topping $115,000 for Steve Carra, who earned Trump's endorsement in September. This is interesting in a number of different ways. First of all, it would be great to just see them tear themselves apart. And as is pointed out in the article, and as we can sort of think about, these could be very weakening challenges, primary challenges to the incumbents. Every indication so far. So let's think through all of the different ways in which Trump and Trumpists have been wrong. They've been wrong that voting to impeach Trump in 2020 was going to destroy their chances in 2022. So far, they're doing fine. They're ahead. They're raising more money. They seem to be doing fine. So they were wrong about that. Trump saying you're out doesn't seem to have the power that Trump hoped that it would have. Number 2, Trump handpicking a replacement also doesn't seem to be doing that much for the replacements. Now, arguably, these challengers might be doing even worse had they not been endorsed by Trump. We don't know. Number three, even Trump doesn't seem that motivated to actually help these people, at least not financially, as he has barely donated to any of these handpicked challengers so far. Now, maybe it's too early, although primaries are starting to come up for some of these folks. Maybe it's that Trump doesn't really believe that they're going to win, or it might be that this is just part of the grift. Trump's raising money supposedly to help put the right Republicans in. Trump always says, we're going to get the rhinos out. The Republicans in name only are going to go out. But it may be that the real reason for fundraising is just the grift, collecting money, paying off campaign debts, all of the things that we talked about Trump doing back when he was raising money to fight election fraud, which, by the way, we're going to talk about tomorrow again. In some of these races, fundraising might matter less than in other parts of the country. Wyoming, for example, which is such a small population, it's less about having the most money to do advertising. I mean, the population is tiny. It's more about news narratives and personality stuff, and maybe endorsements even would make a difference. But in a lot of these races, whoever raises more money ends up winning. So we're going to follow these. But so far, Trump doesn't seem to have that golden touch. And also Trump saying, get them out of here. They are bad. We need to remove them. That also doesn't seem to be damaging a lot of these people. We'll see. Trump loves to claim his great record on endorsements. It's actually not so good. Actually not so good.